The 2025 Denver Nuggets are thought to be heavy title favorites amongst NBA fans, creators, and analysts alike. However, I am not of the same opinion. Hello everyone and welcome back to Step Back with Zach, and in today's video I will be covering and going over the hard truth about the 2025 Denver Nuggets roster. Before I go on, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. The 2025 Denver Nuggets have a very good roster, led by the league's best player, Nikola Jokic. But because of their off-grades this season, a lot of people are saying that they're the biggest threats to the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the NBA championship in 2026. While adding players like Cam Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas and Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. are good additions, in my opinion, they aren't needle movers like people are saying that they are. Before I go over the players that I just mentioned, I would like to go over the Denver Nuggets' recent playoff run. The Denver Nuggets were eliminated in 7 games in the Western Conference Finals against the eventual NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was after going 7 again in the first round against the Los Angeles Clippers. The first round matchup against the Clippers was pretty piss poor in my opinion. If you watched that first round matchup against the Clippers, you cannot tell me that that was a good series. Yes, the games were close and they were intense. However, no one really played well. Yes, Jokic still managed to average a triple-double, which in itself is, pretty damn good, obviously. But he also only averaged 24 points a game in that series. Kawhi Leonard really only had one good game, and that was in Game 2 where he dropped 39 points. But James Harden, as we know, is not a very good playoff performer, and again, he further showed that in this series. Norman Powell was pretty average. Ivica Zubac was pretty average. However, he did play really good defense against Nikola Jokic. But like I said before, I really don't think either side particularly played that well in this series. The Nuggets didn't score a lot of points, they didn't block a lot of shots because, as I said, they are not a good defensive team. All the Clippers' best players in that series were a net negative. The next round was, as I said, against the OKC Thunder, who did end up eventually winning the NBA title. This series is the main reason that a lot of people are saying that they are the biggest threats to the Thunder this upcoming season. However, what people forget to mention is that Jalen Williams was playing with a torn ligament in his wrist. Chet Holmgren was not the same player as he was to start the season. After breaking his hip, that man just forgot how to play offense. And yes, I realize that Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon were also injured. However, Aaron Gordon only got injured at the end of Game 6. He was really only hindered from injury in Game 7. And Michael Porter Jr., his role was quite literally just to stand and shoot. But even if he was healthy, I don't really think that would have swayed the series much either. Shea was the only consistent offense from the OKC Thunder in that whole series. So considering how bad a defense the Denver Nuggets actually are, imagine if J-Dub wasn't injured. Imagine if Chet was playing like his start of the season self. The Nuggets would have got absolutely thrashed, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Nikola Jokic also did not have that great a series. Yes, he had 2 monster games where he had 2 games scoring over 40 points, but Alex Caruso in games 6 and 7 locked him up. Caruso is 6'4" or 6'5". Jokic is just under 7 feet tall. Caruso is slim, Jokic is huge. And Jokic let little Alex Caruso bully him down low. With the playoff experience that the Nuggets had over the OKC Thunder, if they were going to beat the Thunder at any point, it was then. But now that the Thunder have gone through the gauntlet and won the championship, now know what it's like to go the whole way, you can expect them to be a hell of a lot better. And with a healthy J-Dub, hopefully, and a better Chet Holmgren, there's no way the Nuggets are beating this team. Now, let's move on to the actual additions that the Denver Nuggets made throughout the offseason. The Nuggets traded Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson, adding a good, reliable, consistent scorer, more so than Michael Porter Jr. was. Or did they? In the 2025 season, Cam Johnson averaged 18.8 points per game on 47.5% from the field in 57 games. That's pretty good. Michael Porter Jr. averaged 18.2 points per game on 50% from the field in 77 games. The 3-point shooting from Cam Johnson is something that a lot of people like to talk about and say that he's one of the best shooters on the planet, which is not wrong. However, Cam Johnson shot 39% from 3 on 7.2 attempts per game. Like I said, is really good. But Michael Porter Jr. shot 39.5% on 6.4 attempts. So he shot half a percentage better while taking 0.8 less. Again, not really that much difference. The rebounding advantage definitely goes to Michael Porter Jr. as well, who averaged 7 rebounds a game, while Cam Johnson averaged only 4. And the defense, quite frankly, It's kind of the same. They're both not great defenders, right? Cam Johnson's a little bit better when it comes to the stats. Like, he averages a little more steals, a little more blocks. Neither of them average 1 a game, by the way, in either of those categories. But Michael Porter Jr. is bigger. He's 6'10", and he's 8 pounds heavier. I think he's like 218 pounds or something, where Cam Johnson is 6'8", 210 pounds. And keep in mind that Cam Johnson averaged these stats while being one of the leading options in Brooklyn, who no NBA team took seriously. Every NBA team, when you watch them play against the Brooklyn Nets, really did not try. Or they just tried to kill them on offense, didn't really care about them on defense. Another thing about Cam Johnson as well is that he's never healthy. He's only played over 65 games once in his career, and that was back in 2022. MPJ, however, while dealing with the injury in the playoffs last year and dealing with his back injury to start, has been pretty damn healthy, to be quite honest. Like I said, he played 77 games last season and 81 the season before that. Cam Johnson has never had those numbers, ever. So, like I said, in my opinion, there really is no difference, especially because Cam Johnson is not that much of a better shot creator than Michael Porter Jr. He's going to be put in the exact same role as Michael Porter Jr. Yes, he's a little bit better off the dribble to create his own shot, but again, it's not really one of his strengths. If it was, he would have averaged more points in Brooklyn. Now, moving on to the next player that I think is actually probably the most important addition for the Denver Nuggets, Jonas Valanciunas. Jonas Valanciunas is by far the best backup center the Denver Nuggets have ever had in the Nikola Jokic era. He will definitely provide some much needed energy and burn when Jokic needs to sit or rest. He is very durable as well. Like, you can always rely on him to play a lot of games during the NBA season. However, again, he's a backup big, right? How often does a backup big move the needle for an NBA team? It's not a thing that happens, right? Yes, he's good. He can let Jokic rest, but he's not gonna go out there and score 15 points a game. He's a good rebounder, but that's kind of it. He's pretty good down low. He's a good lob threat, but again, he's not someone that can create his own shot. He's not going to do that for you. He's also not a good rim protector, which is something that the Denver Nuggets just don't have and they need. Jonas Valanciunas did not even average a block a game last season. Yes, he came off the bench, but that's still not good. And keep in mind, he will be 33 next season. Tim Hardaway Jr. THJ is another decent role player. In 77 games for the Pistons last year, he averaged 11 points per game. Not bad. And he shot the ball pretty well from 3. He was like 37%. However, inside the arc, his percentage was not much higher than that. He's also a very streaky shooter, meaning that when he's on, he's on. But getting into this stage of his career, he tends to be on a lot less. He is good for about 2 to 3 threes a game maybe, but at the end of the day, that's not really a lot. His job in Denver will be to stand in the corner and shoot threes, or just catch and shoot threes. He's a pretty poor defender and not a good playmaker either. So he is quite literally only going to be on the court to shoot, and he hasn't even really been that reliable too much. He's been decent, but not good, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think the signing is just meh. He's also going to be 33 next season, by the way. Now, the final big move that the Denver Nuggets made was bringing back Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown was a big contributing factor in their 2023 playoff run where they won the championship. However, we already know how I feel about this run. If you don't know what I mean or what I'm talking about, go watch my hot takes video. Bruce Brown, I really like Bruce Brown. When he was back on the Nets playing with KD, I really liked him and I thought he was a great role player. However, at this stage in his career, he's getting older. After leaving Denver, after that championship, he just really has not played a lot. He's been injured. His scoring's been kind of meh. I don't think he's averaged over 9 points per game. He's definitely not the same player he was in that original Nuggets tenure. But again, it's like not a very big addition. I don't get the glaze here. I don't get it. And he's a pretty good defender. Not so much anymore because he has lost a step because of his injuries and his age. But he's also not very good on offense. So... And finally, the last ad, I do quotes because he was technically already on the team, is DaRon Holmes. DaRon Holmes was drafted last year by the Denver Nuggets in the 2024 draft. However, missed the entire year because I think he tore his Achilles. It was either his Achilles or his ACL. I'm going to say it was Achilles. Now, he's probably my favorite addition to this Denver Nuggets roster. I don't know if I said that for Jonas Valanciunas. If I did, I take it back. It's DaRon Holmes. He's young, he's hungry, he's big, right? He's going to be another big body to bring off the bench. in case of a Jonas Valanciunas injury or Jokic needs some time to rest. He played pretty decently in the Summer League this year, but come preseason, he really has not played a lot. He is good though to step outside and hit a couple threes. He's pretty efficient so far. I think he's 3 for 4 so far in his preseason run. To conclude, I do think the Nuggets are still going to be a good team this year. I don't want anyone to mistake that. But like I said in my hot takes video, I just think Jokic needs that other superstar player. In my opinion, Jamal Murray is best as a third option, but he is going to continue being the second option on that Denver Nuggets team, where again, I just don't see this working. Jokic is always going to be good enough to get you 50 wins in a season. There's no doubt about that. But playing an entire season and then trying to get you through the playoffs, that takes a lot. And that's a lot of burden on your body. And for anybody, even the best player in the league, like Jokic, it's not sustainable. Jamal Murray has also shown no real improvement. He's been the same player that he has been for like the past 4 or 5 years. The Denver Nuggets have such a talented roster. However, all they need is that other superstar player, or even just a star player, to pair alongside Nikola Jokic. Thank you everybody so much for tuning into this video. Let me know if you agree with my opinion on the Denver Nuggets, and if you don't, why? I would love to get your guys' feedback and your opinions. Please, just like I said in the beginning, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Rolling slow.